I believe we are good to go. I'm done acting like a goofball. Okay. I think everything's working. Correct. Again, a truly unprofessional professional. I am. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday evening. I'm gonna rip this really quick. I think my
What's
tea
up?
is done. Alright, the tea is done. We actually have our heads on our bodies. So I think we are good to go. But yeah, I'm excited today, man. There was an actual effort into making this episode today.
All right, good. I'm very excited.
Yeah, this one should be a goofball one. But yeah, I'm stoked, man. Up, is it time? It is in fact time. All right, Kuya, you ready, bud?
Sure.
Game's afoot. Well, howdy, gang. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to Thought That Was Weird. I, of course, am Thrash Cashew, and of course, over to my left, I know I try to figure out like a fun new way to introduce you every single time, but I always have to go to incomparable.
Really?
So the incomparable CuyaDK here with us on the couch.
Hi.
But yeah, bud. How's how things been going? Everything been going good?
I'm extremely tired because I've been very busy.
Right on, bud. Well, hey, better to Hey, what's up, Buff Squidward? Welcome in. Good to see you, bud. Ready to hear some weird stuff? Yeah, right, T1. Well, again, this is your wheelhouse for today's episode. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna be talking movies.
Oh.
Talking movies and
Death
movie-like
Fight.
entities. Death Fight, yes.
Popular movie from the 1980s.
Sanguine Athletics.
Okay, yeah. Street Fighter 2.
What? Street Fighter 2. Yeah, we'll accept that.
with Jean-Claude Van Damme and
Raul Julia.
Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue was in that?
I don't know.
I know Raul Julia was in it. That like with the absolute
It killed him.
Did it kill him?
Killed him. Died from shame. Just like Orson Welles after Transformers.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think that it
One
killed
of the performances of his life, Orson Welles, Transformers the movie in 1984.
I actually never saw that. The OG one? I don't think I've seen like the actual TV show, but I didn't realize that Orson Welles was in Transformers. Who did he play?
Oh man, do you know who Unicron is?
Vaguely. It's been a minute
Yeah,
since I've dug on some Transformers lore.
he plays Unicron. He says some incredible things.
Oh yeah.
He tells a robot that his bargaining posture is highly dubious.
His bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Highly dubious. Unicron is fucking Ming Na Wen?
What? I just got scared.
Ming Na Wen is, I think she's in Star Trek. No, she's in Star Wars. She's in some Marvel show. And apparently, she was in, alongside alongside Kylie Minogue as Cammy in Street Fighter the movie in 19 motherfucking 90.
Was it 5?
4.
Close.
Ming Na Wen was alive in 1994? What else was she in? She was in Star Wars.
That's interesting.
Oh my god, she's in the new Mulan. Is she Mulan? She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Something called Blue Eye Samurai. A lot of voice work. Everyone does a lot of voice work now.
Fair enough.
But she was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show and Boba Fett. She was a main character in Boba Fett.
I never actually watched Boba Fett. I'm not cool enough to have the streaming services to watch this. I was any like or the wait, is there a Boba Fett thing besides the Mandalorian that I'm completely missing?
Yeah, I don't know if it was season 3 of the Mandalorian, but it's getting confused. Like all the shows might as well be one show, but they did 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and then they did a show called The Book of Boba Fett. But it was the same universe, actors basically, just it could have been season 3, I think. I don't know though. I didn't, because I can't pay attention to Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is just it's starting to get a little convoluted. It's starting to get like unnecessarily oversaturated.
Well, now they have to do this whole expanded universe thing where everything has to do, like, one of the complaints I heard was that, like, it started out being its own thing, and then halfway through the season it just became The Mandalorian, and then there were just 2 episodes about Luke that had nothing to do with anything, and it's all one show now, basically, just like Marvel.
Yeah, didn't they add like a digitized Mark Hamill to this?
Yeah, I think they have I think they have Mark Hamill like working for and with them, but they digitized him to make him young.
I see.
You know, they wholesale created Grand Moff Tarkin out of fucking thin air, but they have a real Mark Hamill. Are you not getting any kills?
Apparently, I'm not getting kills.
Hey, the first time I ever played Fortnite, I got a chicken dinner by shooting a man with a shotgun. Do they call it chicken dinner?
It's a victory royale, but close enough. It's potato, man. But yeah, Squidward. If you've ever watched any of my Fortnite streams, you would surely know that I'm there to party and chat with friends, and that I absolutely blow it 99.9% of the time. Because I don't understand how the frickin' bullet fall works for a sniper rifle. I tried for a really, really long time, but I have my moments. I do have my moments. I got a win last week. I got my gentleman's one win for the week. Thank you.
That's what a gentleman does. A gentleman gets one win for the week, and
yes, and then we carry forth doing other gentlemanly things like that's real. I've not played Fortnite since like season 10. Apparently, this new map is pretty nice. So
Didn't
like
they do Fortnite back to basics or some shit?
they did like the OG maps and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
they started doing they started the new season. They got like a whole new map. There's like no section of the map that's like a repetition of like a biome or whatever portion of the map that they usually have. It's very interesting. I've been hearing a lot of positives, which is shocking for Fortnite. Although they did bring in Peter Griffin, which was a very strange choice for a character.
As a playable character, is that a bigger target
You
that
know
you
what?
get to does he have a bigger hitbox? Because it would be great if he was huge, but the bullets whizzed through him. Although that's an advantage too. How do you balance that kind of how do you balance an objectively spherical character in Fortnite?
So they have a the story in the game is that there's a character Meowscles, which is like this uh, cat being that has like super big muscles and apparently trains Peter Griffin on how to get buff. And now Peter Griffin is just a regular buff character. He's not like a rotund
Wait,
person.
who trained him to do that?
A character called Meowscles, which
Meow
is
Schools.
Meowscles, like muscles but with meow.
Oh,
Meowscles.
okay. Which one of them is friends with Sheev Palpatine?
I have no clue. I don't know anything about the lore. That I just saw like the preview for the skin because our friend in chat, Eric and Lemon, sent me the video, and that was bizarre. It was extremely bizarre, and I don't like that they shoehorned him in like that. The only positive thing about that skin is the fact that when he dies, he does the ah thing, as
Oh,
he like hit his knee
yeah,
or something
okay.
like that. And I'm sorry, Squidward. When I got my PlayStation for my birthday many years ago, I lost all my skins in my old account, and I've never recovered
Oh
emotionally.
no. That's I've been something
Dude,
like that happened to me as a young man. There wasn't Fortnite.
it was a WoW. I take it.
No, well, I something like that happened to me in WoW, but
Shit.
it didn't really emotionally cripple me.
Mm. What game was it?
It wasn't as bad. I didn't lose all my skins. I overwrote on my PlayStation 2 a save file of Kingdom
Uh,
Hearts that had all of the Dalmatians and all of the craftable weapons and was 100%ed for a secret ending, which was that was a big deal in that game. It
oh
was a
yeah,
big deal to
it
100% the
takes a
first Kingdom
lot. It
Hearts.
takes a lot to do
And
that.
but yeah, I definitely sold all of my high-end raiding gear in vanilla WoW to a vendor before vendors had buyback
Hmm.
because the enemy guild sent a girl over to my dorm room to get me high and accidentally sell all my gear.
No, that's much worse than any PS2 game was.
That
Yes.
one was a grind. PS2 was the height of my gaming youth.
Mm-hmm. That was yeah. Like
Really
uh,
was. That
I
PS1 I wasn't it didn't quite grab me. Sorry, please continue.
oh no, like no, PS1 wasn't really
And
my thing
my
either.
I should say my gaming young adulthood. Like
Mm.
you know, my brief my and I don't know because it's honestly that really is a well, I don't know. There obviously wasn't really a lot of adulthood going on ever, but I mean, I did, you know,
Two
because
adults.
you know there were N64s and PlayStations around, and I was kind of like, okay, whatever. But I played a lot of PS2 games, but even then I didn't even really I don't know I wasn't gaming a lot until like
Mm.
2018, basically. But
Yeah.
the most I gamed as a youth was on a PS2 that I had because I had one. That's
The I think my height was when I had a Wii and a PlayStation, and I would play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I played all the Pro Skaters.
oh yeah,
Those are my favorite games
yeah.
when I was a kid.
We were talking about that the other day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that soundtrack you can't
Oh
beat that.
yeah, yeah. Tony, that's exactly what we were talking about. Tony Hawk soundtrack.
I hate how the contrast on my
What's
Tony
happening?
Hawk.
is it your lighting?
No, it's
Do you have a
the
bright light?
camera. Yeah, I'm using like a white light that I usually use for my other streams, but it's the camera just some reason just keeps shifting in and out of like making me look like I'm a holy entity to back to normal. It's hilarious. I'm gonna gnaw off my I'm gonna gnaw my arm off. It doesn't hit the same as the PS4 on the PS4. I agree. I really agree. It was like I got it free for PlayStation Plus, and it was not as fun. I truly did not
Yeah. Do
enjoy
you mean the
myself.
remakes?
The first
Is that
one,
what it
yeah,
is?
yeah.
Yeah, but they remade 2 and 3 as one package. Is that the?
They did one, and then I think two and three were a separate package, yeah, or something
Oh,
crazy
okay,
like that.
okay,
Some,
something like that. Okay.
if I'm actually, it might have been all three in
I
one, but
don't. I don't fucking.
they might have just taken all the levels from one, two, and
I
three and just smushed them.
played Tony Hawk Underground on my PlayStation 2, so that's the one I would love to play.
Underground. I never
Yeah.
played Underground. That was the one that
There was like a storyline.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
But like for PS2, I definitely rocked a lot of Kingdom Hearts. That was a fun fucking game. And actually, funnily enough, I went and sold off a whole bunch of games. A friend of mine owns a video game resale shop that just moved in right across the street from where I live, and he had no clue, or they had no clue, and it was really funny. Um, so I went over and I sold some games, and his wife was going through the games, and apparently I had a copy of 1.5 and 2.5 on one disc in uh, in one of the cases instead of what was supposed to be the Metal Gear Solid collection, which
Oh,
yeah,
sneaky of you.
yeah, that was an accident. No, that I would have rather given up the collection rather than Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and
Mm.
2.5 personally.
Okay, gotcha.
Like the because the one thing that really like ground my gears about that was the fact that you had to do digital downloads for um all the other games. You had one no, you had three on one disc, and then you had to get like one and two on a digital download or something stupid like that, and then like four was by itself. It was
Is
really
this
dumb.
Switch you're talking about, or is this?
PS3. This was like
Oh,
years
okay.
and years
Oh,
and
this was
years
a
ago.
while ago. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, the new one is like all encompassing as far as I know. I don't know if they put it on like two separate discs or how many separate discs with the new collection. Uh, but who knows? Who honestly knows? But anyway, so I was gonna say let's get right into it. We have uh, a very important matter to discuss today, Kuya. Uh, we used to have a little baguette friend that used to join us. I don't know what happened to him though. He just kind of disappeared. I don't know.
I thought that. Oh, do we not remember that he
Do we?
vanished into a porthole or something?
Here's the fun about the meta. We do and don't remember everything. No,
Well,
but
exactly. That's how I feel. That's
no.
not even meta. That's how I feel about my life. I both do and do not remember everything.
Everything.
I know everything.
Well, he, well, he was it, um, for the sake of the viewership,
I recall a baguette.
yes,
I certainly there was a baguette around here. I
there was.
recall some events involving a baguette and maybe a time portal.
Yes, and I love. No, I'm kidding. I'm just I'm busting your chops. But yeah, Baguette just disappeared somewhere, and I don't know where he went to. So, uh, I made it a I went into our lovely you know desert area here, and there happened to be a couple telephone poles, and I started putting up flyers because that's what you do. And I started asking, who wants to be a mascot, and we've been getting a plethora of uh, inquiries, and we have our first contestant for our mascot contest today, which is the big plan for today. We're gonna have a little mascot contest for the show.
Great.
Yeah. So today I'm gonna introduce you all to this mascot, very very nice guy. Um, so he's going to do some chainsaw juggling for us. I'm shocked that anybody would go this far on a first run. Screw it, I'm not going to bed. That sounds like so much fun. Well, dude, please stick around. But yeah, so first off, we have our and we're going to be trying to do this every single week. We'll have a new contestant every single week. So today we have our first contestant. This is Terry Puree. Terry Puree. Yeah. Hey there, bud. So what's the plan for the day? What are you going to do for us? Well, bud, that's quite the chainsaw there, friend. Well, yeah, why don't you just take it over?
I'm glad they're Husqvarnas.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Our contestant was whisked away by a coyote. Oh my good god!
I didn't even see him juggle the shit.
I know we didn't even get to see the juggling chainsaws, and unfortunately, due to the fine print in our contest, we have a specific rule that you cannot be mauled and hauled away
Edible.
by a coyote. You can. It specifically says in the fine print that you cannot be mauled and hauled away by a coyote. So I guess our first contestant is disqualified. I mean, that's very unfortunate. I can't believe that happened.
I was expecting a chainsaw juggling
Yeah, I was expecting a
performance
chainsaw
to
juggling
occur.
too, but I mean, Coyote's gotta up and ruin things for us. I mean, this is what we get for having this contest in the middle of the desert. But I mean, you can. We're working with what we have, gang. So I sincerely apologize to the audience out there. We were supposed to have the first contestant go up, but unfortunately he was eaten by a coyote and probably dragged back to the pack and probably mauled to death. So our deepest condolences to the family of Terry Puree, but Neener, he signed a contract. You can't sue us anyway. So that's very unfortunate. Well,
Being murdered by coyotes is not allowed.
no, it's not included in the rules. I think it's quite selfish of the contestant. I absolutely agree. We give you this platform to, you know, be professional and perform here, and just up and got eaten. It makes no sense to me. Like who does that? That's some like diva Nicki Minaj type crap, man. We do not condone the getting mauled by coyotes, and nor should any of you out there. Well, that's a bummer. Well, I guess we'll have to wait for the next contestant next week, and hopefully we'll actually
Hopefully
get
they
this
will
thing
not
going.
be eaten. Is this gonna be a well, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, this is hopefully
If
going to be a weekly
food
segment.
items that end up,
Well,
and anyone who gets eaten is disqualified.
yeah. I mean, now that we've thoroughly established the
Because it
rule that if
really
you,
is like in the cartoon world,
mm,
most food items, their biggest, deepest sexual fetish and desire is to be eaten.
is it?
Little food items that want to be eaten,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
weird. It creeps me out.
It creeps me.
When like a lot of animated food is singing about how much they
They
would
want
like to
to
be
be eaten.
eaten.
Like,
If this is a parade of vor fetishism, food-based mascots being eaten by wolves.
oh, we're gonna.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
if that's what we're doing this
we're
time,
going
yeah.
that. I mean, we need the viewership, so I mean, that's what the kids like, right? Is
Yeah, you think anthropomorphic food items
getting
and
mauled.
vor fetishism. This is all right. I'm into it. Let's do a thing. All right.
um. Well, shit. Well, I guess since that segment went swimmingly, thanks Terry Puree for wasting our time. Well, I guess we'll start with another very interesting character. So how much do you know about the movie Bloodsport?
Uh, One time when I was in like, a freshman or something in like high school or middle school, I was playing Street Fighter 2 on the freshman in high school or middle, something like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that is that an Oxford comma anyway, I I was sitting there as a young person
Mm.
playing Street Fighter 2, and my grandfather came into the room and said, "This is like that movie with who's in Bloodsport."
Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then that guy made Street Fighter 2.
Wait, you said that was your grandfather that predicted that?
I guess you could call it a prediction, sure.
That's well, I mean, was it pre the movie being made or?
What, Bloodsport?
Oh no, Street Fighter. But I know the
Yes.
game. Okay, that's yeah. Then that's technically a prediction.
But
Yeah.
he was talking about Bloodsport.
Oh, but he was talking about blood. That's interesting. That's really interesting. That he just automatically put Guile in as the as Jean-Claude Van Damme. Did your grandfather happen to do any like casting gigs in L.A. or something like that? Because I think he'd make a killing.
Not that I know of. Probably not. It's
Uh,
not impossible. A lot of people had weird secret lives.
Indeed,
I wonder
much.
if anyone still does. Is it possible to have a secret life anymore with like a secret job and a second family, or does everyone know everything on the internet now?
Well,
People
that.
used to have they would
Mhm.
be traveling salesmen used to have like a secret family in another state. Or is that just on
No,
TV?
that.
Why aren't there any traveling sales? What happened to America?
What
Why
happened
don't we
to
have
America?
traveling salesmen setting up secondary families in other states anymore?
I I
Because
have.
of the internet.
It is the internet, and everybody, and you can't even have an Ashley Madison account anymore in this fucking country.
That's what I'm saying. This
Discord
Discord and Twitch, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes.
I guess there is literally a thing called Second Life. I don't know what happens there, but every time I see a picture of it, it's a woman in her underwear.
I tried playing Second Life, and
No, you didn't.
I
Really?
tried for funsies.
It's forbidden on Twitch. Did you know that?
Is it really?
It's forbidden.
Van
They'll
Holten,
ban you if you
Van
play Second
Holten,
Life.
Link.
To
it's
Second Life? Oh, the girls in their underwear.
oh my goodness, yeah, that game is bizarre as all get out.
I have no idea what it is. I know that Dwight Schrute taught himself how to fly. That's
I
it. That's the one. That's what I can tell you about Second Life. And that really, it's one person on X.com who posts pictures of her Second Life character
uh,
in
there,
their
there,
underwear.
there's like
I wonder if it would be impolite for me to get you.
jeez. Like I've tried it for like 5 seconds and I didn't know how to wear clothes and apparently offended a whole bunch of people because I was just walking around in underwear.
Impolite.
So impolite of me, and I apologize to the Second Life community. Um, I would like to thank you for trying to get me clothed, but I just gave up and deleted it. It was really dumb. It was really bizarre. But speaking of and second lives, today we are going to be covering the story of the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Dux. Do you know who Frank Dux is?
Is he portrayed by Jean-Claude Van Damme?
He is portrayed by Jean-Claude Van Damme in the movie Bloodsport.
And is Bloodsport, is it is it officially based on a true story? Is it marketed as being based on a true
Well,
story?
much like Amityville Horror and
Okay.
movies of the like, a lot of people were
Yeah.
well. The thing is that it was particularly listed on the poster and a bunch of other stuff that it was based on a true story of this guy's life. This dude Frank Dukes, who is a infamous, very very infamous martial artist, and has a has a very interesting record, let's say.
It's not
It,
Frank Du.
and not Dia. No, it's
Dia.
Dukes.
Dia.
Like put up your Dukes or Dukes mayonnaise. Dukes mayonnaise. Smear it on something. Uh, but and this led me down a real deep rabbit hole of some really interesting shit. I absolutely lost my mind like reading up on this cat. Um, and I found a lot of very interesting videos. And I know I keep saying that we shouldn't really trust listening to this guy, but
Oh,
this
okay.
this
Yeah.
this concept was just too ridiculous to ignore. This dude talking about Frank Dux is kind of ridiculous, and he gives some he gives kind of an intro to the story, but unfortunately, I don't think he did any real background checking on what it actually happened. But I
This guy
thought
doesn't do. This guy has a fake research department, I reckon.
I
Like,
believe that he may.
the way you have like an imaginary Canadian girlfriend, this guy has a Canadian research
Hmm.
department
You know,
that exists in his mind. Maybe
she lives in a
his
different
research
state, goes to a
department
different
might
high
be.
school. She
Yeah,
lives in Europe.
this guy's research department goes to a different high school. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
I think it was something like I don't know. It suggested that the Bulgarian government actually backs this guy up, which is kind of fascinating. But that's
Wow, really?
apparently I've watched a handful of this guy's videos. He's freaking weird. But
What what goes on in Bulgaria? Where is Bulgaria?
I don't know, man. I just thought of a country and I just said it. Bulgaria is
Bulgaria is not real. Is it a fictional place like Latvia?
or the Czech Republic. Who names their country after a cereal?
Oh, it's where the robot. Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's where the robot birds come from. That is true. This is very true. Oh, it is just south of Romania, right next to. Oh God.
That sounds like where a place like Bulgaria. Is it
Yes.
near Belgium? I feel like.
It's next to Serbia and Greece.
Okay.
Fascinating. I know. Honestly, the guy just talks about how he's connected to the Bulgarian government. I don't freaking know, but again, I felt like this particular video that he did on Frank Dukes was fascinating. I thought I would share it.
Where does Bulgaria sit on the world political stage? Is this a country that
I'm
can
not sure.
offer some type of political influence if you were to be have
Well,
a fake news show and be involved in the? I'm wondering. I guess I'm.
well, I mean, according to this Wikipedia article that I'm reading, there was a
Okay.
political crisis
What is this guy's
in
name? Who
Bulgaria.
are we talking about?
He gives his name in the show, but I honestly don't remember right now. But he
Oh, okay,
does
that's funny. Our next guest, the guy whose name we've both forgotten.
yeah. But
He's kind of a bozo. Let's not make fun of him right before we even
I
introduce
know
him. I
we
guess.
should be
Okay,
but
let's stop the. Okay, yeah.
can we show the chainsaw potato being destroyed on Bulgarian national television?
They would censor us immediately
I think this show was banned in Bulgaria, as far as I understand.
because of our enemy. Let's not make enemies with. Well, I mean, I guess we're going into it before we even start.
but yeah. So this is a
This
show,
is a rival of ours.
a little bit of a rival, because I think he really enjoys doing the same topics that we do, but just not actually covering what the actual truth of the matter. He just kind of he reads he reads like article headlines. He doesn't actually like read the whole article. He's that type of person. He's the person that like takes a grape from a bag of grapes at a grocery store and then doesn't buy the whole bunch. He's that type of person.
Tell you about the time I ate a handful of garlic in the grocery store.
No, but that's fucking rad. Did you really eat a whole handful of garlic in the grocery store?
I was drunk and I thought they were little fresh mozzarellas. It was extremely unpleasant, and there was.
Dude,
It was
that's
at the salad bar. I was very drunk.
Oh, look at these cute little mozzarellas. Wait a minute.
Yeah, they were raw garlics.
That sucks. That's really rough, man. But anyway, so this gentleman, we're going to cut to that video because again, too weird not to share. So this is a show called Truth Fist. Check it out.
Yes, thank you for joining us this evening, and welcome back to Truth Fist, the only show that is currently fisting for truth, justice, and the pot of Kraft mac and cheese with a side of chalky milk. I'm an insecure little sausage. Welcome. Today, I'm coming to you live from a secret facility deep in what somewhat might say is a blanket fort in my parents' basement. The government cannot infiltrate your brain or its space with 5G when you are underneath an 800 thread count or higher. Anyway, we are here to discuss one of the great American heroes, one man who has single-handedly, covertly, and secretively protected our democracy from the evils of drug smuggling, underground fighting, championship organizing Chinese ninjas in the 1980s. This one man has stopped them from invading American soil. That one Terminator-type entity, that beefcake of a man, whom I am gay for his patriotism and not for his rocking body, but the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Dux. It is said that Frank Dux was taught the fine art of ninjutsu by a mystical and very mysterious Asian martial artist group known as the Black Dragon Society. He was brought under the wing of the world's most renowned ninja, Senzo Tanaka, a man so shrouded in mystery, most are uncertain if Senzo Tanaka was actually real or just a really, really good ninja. Senzo Tanaka's existence, much like ninja pizza, has vanished. After his mastery of the art of ninjutsu, Frank Dux joins the military and was brought in for secret missions by the Navy SEALs, but is mostly noted for his fighting in an underground tournament known as the Kumite, a tournament where hundreds of international fighters from multiple fighting backgrounds go mano a mano until one reigns supreme. Dux entered this contest and won, maintaining a flawless record with 329 knockouts, multiple world records in fastest knockout punch, fastest knockout kick, and the fastest delivery of a Jimmy John's sandwich, which was reported as freaky fast and the bread being, quote, like a styrofoam shoe insert. All of these fights and knockouts were recorded by the Kumite organizers themselves, according to Dux, with 16 high-speed cameras at the beck and call of the event organizers to measure statistics of the participating fighters. All of this success, all of this alpha status, all of this winning, while being one of the most prized assets of the CIA's operations in Southeast Asia. The unfortunate truth is that because Dux was breaking top secret protocol as a whistleblower, he was immediately blacklisted by the intelligence community, and his personally preserved records of the events, missions, and tournaments that he was involved in mysteriously vanished after a burglary during an earthquake. Since then, Frank Dux has been featured in multiple magazines, mostly involving the martial arts, military training, and as well as featured as a thank you in a copy of the official Navy SEAL Close Quarters Combat Handbook. It's a shame that once again the mainstream media loves to all of a sudden produce verified documents and verified records to sully this man's very real, very bad ass reputation. I, for one, will not stand further, as this man's blood, sweat, and tears are used to paint a comedic portrait of what should be a stoic profile in Americanism and slinging dong. The truth hurts, and that is why our truths are clenched in a fist, and that's why we have to prepare for a full-on ramming of the truth over and over again. Coming up next on Truth Fist, Mitch McConnell is really sleeping standing up with his eyes open. It was a secret CIA technique taught to him by Frank Dux, and why the lib-glib media is stupid for not knowing this. Right after this advertisement for patriotic chicken bone marrow broth enemas for seniors. Patriotic chicken bone marrow broth enemas for seniors, now in low sodium.
You see what I've been watching for the past week?
Kind of. I kind of saw it. You came and started talking to me in the middle of it, so I only saw the first half of it.
Sorry. Well, how long does a script like that take to write? Not that you know. No, I wouldn't. But like, I would assume that guy just kind of does his stuff off the cuff. I would assume.
Whoa, Beefy Deluxe says that Frank sounds like a bitch.
Frank Dux is a bitch.
Oh no! Whoa! I didn't.
No,
whoa!
no,
What?
no,
Are you
no,
sure?
no. I'm kidding. I make jokes. No, and as a legal precursor.
Like a man that I would not want to provoke.
No, that is definitely a man you'd not want to provoke. No, I'm totally kidding. He is a yeah, but he's also known to litigate people. So as a precursor here, this is not to
Oh boy,
disparage
Beefy
the man.
Deluxe. He's a litigator.
We are reiterating facts dispelled by multiple people, including cited sources from FOIA requests, from records, like from Frank Dux just opening his mouth and kind of incriminating himself in some of this.
All right, tell me about him. Tell me about Frank Dux.
Well then, yeah, let's go to the big TV, where I will gladly tell you about this gentleman here, Frank Dux. So I guess we'll start with what is the true story that was given in Bloodsport. So the story begins. We got young 13-year-old Frank Dux here. In the Bloodsport story, Frank Dux and a couple of his little hooligan friends broke into a man's house. Mind you, this is like San Fernando Valley in California.
This is in the movie?
This is in the movie. This is all, like, everything that I'm explaining right now was the movie.
Are you a lawyer, Beefy? When did you become a lawyer?
Are you a lawyer?
Wow, right. Beefy is someone I knew from
the long times ago,
early Twitch days. Oh, so man. 6 or 7 years ago. Wow. A lot of people I know have progressed into real lives.
That's awesome.
Congratulations on your lawyerdom.
That is definitely a very, that's a thumbs up from me, boss. I couldn't deal with that. I would not have the temperament of a lawyer. I'd be jumping over shit. Yeah.
You were a lawyer when we were throwing dongs? Man, if I knew, yeah. I didn't know. I knew a lawyer this whole time. I wonder.
Well, good. Then maybe he can help us.
Sue my electric company for price gouging.
There's that. We can also have somebody in the pocket if Frank Dux decides to sue us.
If Frank Dux shows up, I've been in a big fight with my electric company. They want all of my money all the time.
Makes sense.
But, I'm sitting here in the fucking dark, boys.
Man, fuck electric companies. But so
yes, fuck electric companies in general.
Indeed. So Frank Dux here and his hooligan friends break into a man's house. A man by the name of Senzo Tanaka. who is
Wait, so
notoriously.
this is this in the movie? Are you telling me the plot line of
Yeah, this is the plot line
Bloodsport?
of Bloodsport, and we're
Okay,
gonna
I've
go through
never
that.
seen it.
Oh, you've
My
never seen it?
grandfather thought Street. No, my all I know about it is that my grandfather thought Street Fighter 2 was like Bloodsport.
Actually, I think that's what the game.
Kumite.
Yeah, the game was based off of Bloodsport, as far as I remember. Like between that and
What, really? Yeah, they had Jean Claude play.
play oh god, what was it, Guile? Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow. Okay.
But so Frank
Now
Dux.
I know what the word kumite means. I've heard that word lots of
Yeah,
times in my life.
Kumite actually translated, it just means sparring in Japanese.
Okay.
So it's just really funny how, again, I believe there's just Dukes. There's gonna be a lot of things that
Yeah.
that Dukes is just gonna blow out of proportion. Like Kumite sounds like like a like when you first see this movie, you think like, oh my god, like this that's a very severe sounding contest. Kumite. Whoa, and then
Yes.
it just turns out that the actual translation is it's sparring. But and of course, this man wouldn't find out about the Kumite until he breaks into Tanaka's house and tries to steal his coveted Kumite sword, which is a sword awarded to the winner of this secretive underground mixed martial arts tournament that they have every 5 years in different countries to avoid, because it's like a criminal gambling ring, according to Dukes. It's apparently been held for hundreds of years. And oh, excuse me, we should also show the young Frank Dukes here. That's I feel bad for that kid. I really do. I'm sure he.
Oh, this is the actor that portrayed young Frank Dukes
This is
in.
this is young Frank Dukes, and he also, much like Jean-Claude Van Damme, had the mild Bulgarian. Is he Bulgarian? No,
What
Belgian,
is?
Belgian, Belgian. Why did because we kept saying Bulgaria, I went to Bulgaria. He's
I
Belgian.
don't. I still don't know if Bulgaria is a real place.
No, it's not.
Are you? If you were about to tell me that Jean Claude Van Damme was, I mean, why wouldn't he be from Bulgaria? But
He came from the hard streets of Bulgaria. um, but so we have of course, young Frank Dukes here breaks into the house of this man, Senzo Tanaka, steals his coveted Kumite sword, and he's caught by Tanaka. But instead of going to the police, Tanaka instead has him trained in this art form.
this is a true story.
According to Frank Dukes. Well, this is the movie's version of the.
Okay.
So again, this is the funny part about when people stamp on based on a true story sort of thing. So,
Okay.
But yeah, this is pretty much like initially this was like oh yeah, like most of this happened sort of thing, and we'll later find out that that Frank Dukes didn't try to steal anything from the guy. He just happened to live in the same neighborhood as he did. But,
Okay, so then that's the funny story for the movie of how they met.
That's like the plot device to get them to meet.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Frank Dukes is basically, because he's trying not to get in trouble with the police, he is he's instead being trained by Senso Tanaka, and he's a literal bop it for his freaking son Shingo as a sparring partner, and just gets knocked around for like years. And there's like this whole training montage, and then eventually he grows up. Oh, actually, by the way, I also forgot to mention that the guy that played Senzo Tanaka in this movie also played Lao Che in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. I totally forgot about that.
Oh,
Very important little side note.
The opening sequence.
Yeah, the guy that said
You've already drank the antidote or the antidote for the poison
I
you
guess you would
just
like
drank.
the antidote to the
Yes,
poison you
okay.
just drank. And
Like a fucking game show host. Yeah.
And
I love Temple of Doom.
And what's funny is that he actually was overdubbed by somebody else. I had no idea they did that. Which is a shame, because the guy's rad. I like his speaking voice. But and the guy's name was Roy Chiao. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It's like Chiao. Chiao. I don't want to sound like I'm putting an unnecessary influx on that, but that's That's where the eye sits.
I got no idea.
I don't know either. Who pronounces things? But
Pronouncing things and fixing typos is masturbation.
so after years of training and everything else, Dukes decides to join the military, where and by the way, Jean-Claude Van Damme really does this shit.
Does Frank Dux?
So fuck no.
No, not for sure. For sure, Frank Dux does not do the splits on the chairs.
I don't believe he does.
Okay.
If you saw the guy, he would not.
So we know. I mean,
he would not look like a man that would.
I don't want to be litigated upon. I'll have to call my lawyer, Beefy Deluxe, my officially new lawyer. Get him on TV. Get him in front of a press conference, and let's see Frank Dux in this position.
Yes, let's do it. But in 1975, Dukes joins the U.S. Marine Reserves, doing covert missions for.
When they catch me for my crimes, I'll call you, Beefy.
When they catch, it's not a crime unless you get caught, right?
Exactly. So.
Considering the viewership of this show, I don't think we ever will be. But
we're located in a mysterious desert that's probably not part of this timeline.
Supposedly, allegedly.
It's all alleged.
Everything is alleged. I don't even know if this couch is real.
This is if I say this is a work of fiction, you can't arrest me. You have to tell me you're an internet cop.
You have to, and you also have to give me a badge number. Do you have a warrant? You have an internet warrant? Jeez, man. No, I'm afraid. No, again, like everything, like he actually like put out like multiple statements in multiple books that would even contradict his own statements. So
sure.
Again, none of this is real, and we're all in a simulation. So
that's what I heard.
Something like that. Anyway, so
that's why I say it, Beefy. I'm aware that that's not how it works.
Wait a minute, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah. I really like saying you have to tell me if you're a cop. I know the law. That's
hilarious. So Frank Dux serves in the Marines, and during his service, he was doing secret missions for the CIA, some covert ops in Southeast Asia. It is around this time that Dux finds out that Tanaka is dying, and that he's basically bringing honor upon his old teacher by doing this Kumite thing, which again, mind you, is an invite-only event. And he wasn't necessarily invited. It just so happens that his master happened to have an invite, and the master passed on the invite to him. But unfortunately, after the U.S. government finds out that Dux is fighting in the tournament, they try to restrain him and keep him in the U.S. because he, in the terms of the movie, is too valuable of an asset to lose to a full contact death match. Okay. And so he escapes the U.S. and goes to this place here, what used to be the most dense area in all of Hong Kong. Actually, I believe in the world. Is the most densely populated area. I think it was like somewhere around like 39,000 people lived in this place.
Wow.
And this is known as Kowloon Walled City, and this is.
Oh yeah, okay.
So in the Bloodsport story, this is where it was initially held, but the reality was it was held in the Bahamas somewhere. Dukes later retracted that portion of the story.
That's more like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat looked more like the Bahamas.
Yeah. It was very Bahamas-y, a lot of palm trees.
Yeah, they're on like a little island and stuff.
But throughout the entire movie, he's chased in this sort of Tom and Jerry style manner by these two gentlemen here, who, of course, on the left is Forrest Whitaker. This is his second major role, second major film. His first, of course, being Fast Times at Ridgemont High. If you've never seen it, do it.
Yeah. I haven't.
Oh, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, do it. It's a wild
movie.
Like totally.
I hear that.
Like
I hear
amazingly.
Phoebe Cates is an angel.
Wait, who's that now?
Phoebe Cates? Is that not the girl in that movie?
I honestly don't know. I never knew I never realized the actresses. I just recognized Sean Penn and Forrest Whitaker.
She's in Gremlins and Drop Dead Fred.
Oh my god, I loved that movie.
Quite a career.
Rick Mayall is like one of my favorite comedians. I love that man.
One time I didn't want to watch Drop Dead Fred, and my friend Michael Whalefruit really wanted to watch it, and he was trying to convince me, and what he said to convince me was Phoebe Cates is an angel. And I said, okay. It was terrible. You seen it?
Are you kidding? I love that movie. It was
really.
It was
well,
wonderfully.
It was
wonderfully.
He was
bad.
on cocaine, and it was 2007.
Oh, no.
I have no idea what my opinions were like. I was definitely drunk.
Wait,
so
your friend was on cocaine, or the character playing Drop Dead Fred was on cocaine?
both. My friend, though, is what I meant. So I mean, it was like this was what I'm saying is that I wasn't even the same person when I watched Drop Dead Fred. So I don't know if it's good or bad.
I wouldn't be either.
All I know is that Phoebe Cates is a fucking angel, and she's in terrible movies. So Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He orders a delivery pizza to the classroom.
The classroom. Forrest
Whitaker
did, but Sean Penn did. No, Forrest Whitaker's car got fucked up, and by Sean Penn and
is Nicolas Cage in Drop Dead Fred?
No. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
What role does he play?
He plays the role of fast food worker number 3.
Oh, is this an early?
This is
Nicolas
one of his first roles.
Cameo type. Okay, all right,
this is one of his first roles, and then like shortly after that was
is he like Francis Ford Coppola's kid or something?
I honestly don't know.
He's something. He's something like that.
But he's got a. I know his mother has a connection with Hollywood somewhere, but I forgot where. But
he's cool anyway. He was a great Dracula.
I still haven't seen Renfield.
Mandy is my favorite. Have you seen Mandy?
Mandy, no.
Have I made you watch Mandy yet?
We have to watch Mandy.
Yeah, we got to. We could do a whole thing. Yeah, that's the next me pop culture topic is gonna be fucking Mandy.
Let's do it. I'm about it.
Yo, that's awesome. Tell Nick Cage that I'm very fond of a lot of his horror work, but I mean, everything else is as well.
I'm very
particularly Dracula and Mandy.
And you can also tell him that I was very fond of finding his pyramid sarcophagus in Madame Tussauds graveyard. That was kind of cool.
He dwells in a pyramid?
He has a... So I don't know if it's still there, but in New Orleans, there's this woman named Madame Tussauds. I believe it's Madame Tussauds. I could be incorrect.
I know Madame Tussauds. Isn't that the wax lady, or?
She's like the... Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, is that the wax lady? Then who?
Who's the wax lady is Madame something. Are you talking about a voodoo lady?
Yes, the voodoo lady. Voodoo queen.
Yeah, the Rocket Man. Yeah.
Marie Laveau, not Madame Laveau.
That's a voodoo lady.
Yeah, Marie Laveau, not Madame Tussauds. Madame Tussauds is the wax people. Yes.
Jesus God.
Stupid French names. Again, this is why we always double check each other.
Okay. All right.
Okay. But anyway, Nick Cage had like a big pyramid sarcophagus in the same place that the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans was buried. And
I loved him in the fucking Flash movie. I'll tell you that.
I didn't see it.
Did he die? Did he die and was buried in a pyramid?
He pre-purchased the plot in this cemetery, and he erected a gigantic pyramid, like the size of like a small house.
Are you not talking about Grandma Zeroni, Buff Squidward? Isn't that Mama Zeroni in?
I don't think I've ever seen. I haven't seen Holes. Fuck.
It is. I think it is Grandma Zeroni.
Yeah, you're right. See, we're all
making
mistakes.
This is a classic. It's too fucking long. Again, maybe I was drunk. I feel like I would back in the day. Well, obviously I was shit-faced often, but I feel like I put on Holes one day and it was on like the whole afternoon while I was getting shit faced for like 3 hours.
I can't take this anymore, Squidward.
It's yes, confirmed. It is a good movie. It probably isn't 3 hours long, but I remember feeling like it was very long when I was very drunk. So many, oh my God, there's so many movies I need to like watch again because I watched them during the 15 years I was shit faced every day. So
That's rough.
well, that's cool, but that means there's stuff I can rediscover in there. I don't really want to look at. I don't really want to look at what's in those memories.
No,
but
I hear you. But like, you want to be able to enjoy it.
Like, let's watch Holes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like watching.
Right. Oh, would they put Holes on all day on repeat? My roommate would do that also because he was drunker than me.
Oh my God, I had a roommate who used to put on Labyrinth all the time.
Wow, is it musicals or something? Because mine would put on Rent and Moulin Rouge. And just play them over and over. Any musical, just back to back all day, drunk.
It was either Halo, Supernatural, or Labyrinth. And whenever the song Dance Magic,
Halo,
he would play Halo. He would play, like nobody else could use the TV in the house.
Okay, yeah.
No one else.
Eventually moved on to Call of Duty, which was way worse. But he started with World of Warcraft.
But the funny thing was is that as soon as
team shit arenas.
Oh right, but
Halloween Town, yeah.
But whenever he would hear the song, whenever the song Dance Magic Dance came out in the movie, he would literally get up and start dancing around the house, and he was a tobacco chewer, and he'd be dancing around with his spit bottle and stuff like that. And
my God!
In the other hand.
Oh my God!
Dance magic dance, and the spit would get everywhere.
Oh God! That's very nasty. I don't know if I had a tobacco chewer before that guy, and the tobacco guy was also drunk, and he would just leave open bottles of tobacco spit all over the house, and it would just smell. Let's stop talking about that.
Yeah, we're done with that. It's gross.
Who's this guy?
So this dude right here is one of
is
Frank
that
Dux'
in the
friends.
Abyss? Is that actor in the Abyss?
I don't know if he was in the Abyss, but I do know that he played Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay, all right, yeah, sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Excuse me, I forgot the actor's name. I forgot to put it down, but of course.
Sorry, Ogre.
Sorry, Ogre.
Shout outs to the guy that played Ogre.
Ogre Revenge of the Nerds.
Ogre Revenge. My
Ogre
favorite
Revenge.
N64 game. Yeah.
Donald Gibb, that's his name.
What's up, Donald Gibb?
Yep. So Donald Gibb here plays Ray Jackson. So Ray Jackson ends up meeting Frank Dux at the Kumite, and they become really chill friends. Considering that they're like one of the few Americans that are actually. Yeah,
there's another American guy there.
There's not very many Americans participating in this tournament, and Dux also meets this reporter, Janice Kent, played by Leah Ayres here. Fun fact: Leah Ayres had a long stint on television during the 80s, doing single episodes of a bunch of stuff, including Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and hold on to your seat for this one, Freddy's Nightmares.
No way! Oh
yeah.
Boy, we've threatened we've threatened each other with trying to watch that piece of shit.
We should watch that.
It's not even. Oh God.
Oh man, it's incomprehensible nonsense, and I.
It's hard. It's a tough one.
I spent many a stoned evening just on Tubi when it was still available on there. That was funny.
Yeah, I can't. It's really too bad that it's not, because I haven't. And again, this is something that I haven't watched in 10 or 15 years. Was almost definitely drunk when I did watch it, so I have no idea what. And man, you know what else I was doing while I was drinking for 15 years?
What?
Hating everything I saw. So it's a real good chance that all these things I think are just shit. I honestly just feel like everything was bad. But I mean, everything was bad from like 2000 to 2014, right? It's just, media,
Oh yeah.
Movies were bad in the 2000s. Is that just correct? I feel like...
Yeah, movies weren't the best. They were definitely...
I feel like a lot of bad ones came out in the 2000s.
They're hanging their hats on a lot of teen romp movies. like a lot of like your American Pies, your Can't Hardly Wait.
Thank you, Beefy.
What did Beefy say?
Movies were indeed bad from like
Okay, well,
2005 through 2020.
I'm
Okay,
glad somebody.
we're
I'm
just
glad
now
somebody.
getting good movies. Cool, awesome, and we are.
But
Beau is Afraid is my favorite movie. Were you there for Beau is Afraid?
no, I ended up
Do you
missing
want
it.
to see it? It's terrible. It's a monstrous thing.
It's really bad.
I mean, it's upsetting. It's well made.
Dude, I would actually like to see that because
I'll screen that motherfucker again. Sure.
dude, I'm all about it. That'd be fun as shit.
It's a wacky movie.
That's super wild. Like it looked good. It looked really good.
Yeah, it's good.
But so
Terrible, monstrous movie.
anyway, back to the plot of one of the greatest films of all time.
Oh, and he breaks the bricks like in Street
Yeah,
Fighter.
yeah. So
Oh
so
no, that's more like Mortal Kombat. Is there?
that was
I feel like does Guile never like
no
kick
no.
a
It was
pile
Johnny
of bricks
Cage.
to death?
Johnny Cage did that.
Johnny Cage does this.
Yes, he does that thing. And actually,
Guile beats up a car and then some barrels.
and then fun story. Johnny
I
Cage is
almost feel
actually
like there
based
might be
off
a
of
pile
Jean-Claude
of
Van
bricks.
Damme. Hmm?
Wait, what?
Oh,
Oh, Johnny Cage is
based off of Van Damme.
okay,
Yeah, isn't that fun?
but Van
I
Damme
never knew.
played Guile. That makes a lot
know.
of sense. But Van Damme, the actor,
Yeah, and I really wish
not
that
Frank Dux.
I really wish he picked up on Mortal Kombat rather than Street Fighter. I think he would have been a nice addition to Street Fighter.
The guy who
Mortal
made
Kombat, I mean.
the guy who made 1,000 Resident Evil movies is the guy who made those Mortal Kombat movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Again,
Event Horizon. Don't forget about Event Horizon.
The first Resident Evil was actually decent. I really
Did it have Michelle Rodriguez in it?
No, but it had Mila Jovovich.
That's cool. She was the man we're talking about fucking married her.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
that's
he
why
did.
she's in everything he does. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's right, Beefy. Yeah, yep.
Didn't he mostly make the Resident Evil because he wanted his wife to be a star? Well, I mean, his wife was already a star, but like, yeah, that's
He was doing
very
pretty
true.
good, but I mean, she had they both had work for just over and over again for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
This is why cursing media and movies for 15 years.
Oy.
That's why everything was bad. Those movies were bad. They were all bad. Should I rewatch the Resident Evil series? That would just be
the first movie.
We gotta watch Friday the 13th Part 3. I'm not trying to distract you from Bloodsport.
Oh no, it's okay. No. This is totally no, but we have to. Yes, no, and
again, that's on the list. I had November was fucking canceled.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
this year had 11 months.
Yeah, November. Yeah, November's
out. Fucking in the trash. Canceled, motherfucker. November is over party. Hashtag
cancel.
On X.com.
X gonna give it to you. But
so November lasted a whole season.
So Frank Dux proves to the organizers that he is in fact the student of Senzo Tanaka and proves his worth and does it by breaking bottom brick, which apparently there's like a trick to it. You have to put like little plates in between the bricks, so all the force is going down onto the bottom brick. It's
you weird, want to break only the bottom brick?
He had to break only the bottom brick. They first were like, break these bricks, and then he's just like, okay, and he was about ready to go, and they're like, no, just the bottom one. He's like, okay. And
interesting. Okay.
He went and did it. And the reality, like I watched, because I went in this deep dive of like martial art, like, snake oil people. I end up learning that that's how they do the brick breaking stuff. I mean, that's what they are.
Martial arts snake oil people sounds like a whole. That sounds like it could be the title of a kung fu movie.
Oh my, dude, we've like I'm actually reserving an entire episode. We're gonna be talking about one particular martial arts snakes oil salesman type person.
Okay.
And there's just in that one just kind of like triage like a whole bunch of other even worse fake martial artists, claiming to be trained in the art of ninjutsu and stealth and shit like that, kung fu masters, quote unquote.
All right.
But not like the David Carradine kung fu masters, because that motherfucker actually did the work.
David Carradine?
David Carradine, yes, from the show Kung Fu.
Yeah, okay. I won't make the joke, I guess.
Oh, what's the joke?
Well, it has to do with autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, is that what happened to him?
That's David Carradine, right?
No, I think he just died recently, but I don't know if it was from that, was it?
Maybe we're thinking about a different guy.
David
I always
Carradine's
say these things that like.
I know, and now we have and now because fucking god, you're right.
This guy didn't know that Army Hammer drinks human blood either.
I had no idea. For real? Autoerotic asphyxiation? David Carradine, poor man.
Hanging in the closet jerking off. Sorry, man. Yeah.
Bud. Damn. Get your kicks somewhere else, friend. That's very, very unfortunate.
That's a wacky thing to be into. Can you imagine? Like, man.
That's a wacky.
Imagine that your fetish is getting just close enough to being dead. God damn it. Boy, what was the wacky fetish I was talking about earlier? That one's way worse.
I don't remember.
Who cares? Who cares? We almost murdered me.
We've we're just like trudging through like mud of ridiculousness right now. Like, holy cow! Like, I cannot believe that he died from
the effluent of human experience. Bye bye, David Carradine.
Wow. Very
sad. He was in that movie where everyone runs people over.
He was also Bill in Kill Bill. Like, what a shame.
That's right.
What an absolute shame. But anyway, so Frank gets into the tournament. He ends up seeing this guy. Apparently, the last Kumite, this man killed a handful of people in the tournament, in which that is actually legal. You are allowed to kill people.
It is a blood sport.
It is, in fact, a blood sport, indeed. This is Chun-Li, played by the famous Bolo Yeung.
The character's name is Chun-Li.
The character's name is Chun-Li. Like Chun-Li from Street Fighter, yes.
Like played by Ming-Na Wen.
Yes. I don't know.
She's in Star Wars. We went this. We went over this one.
Yeah, we talked about it. I know, but
they made a Chun-Li movie.
They did. I remember that they did.
And everyone forgot immediately. For
good reason, from what I've read.
No one's ever seen it. I've never heard of anyone seeing it.
I'd be shocked if somebody did.
I've never heard of somebody watching the Chun-Li movie from like 2009. I've never heard of someone watching it.
There's that one guy in our audience. That one person in our audience that's just like, oh, fuck these guys. Chun-Li's like one of my favorite movies. But so this big guy is like the big bad in the movie to Jean-Claude Van Damme's Frank Dux. And eventually
what a chest on this guy.
I know. And eventually they do meet in the finals after Chun-Li takes out Roy Jackson, Ogre, from Revenge of the Nerds. He takes him out and almost kills him. But thankfully he survived. Chun-Li then cheats and throws a salt tablet into Jean-Claude Van Damme's eyes, and he has to finish the fight blinded. And he kicks He kicks this dude's ass and makes him tap out. So Dux wins the Kumite. He leaves China, and he evades the military police and everything else. And he continues to live his life of pure badassery as an asset to the CIA. And the ending credits go, and they give you all these things that Dux had accomplished. Again, he apparently had according to this, like what was it, like 329 knockouts? I can't actually read that. I don't know why I can't.
329 matches.
329.
4 world records.
Mhm.
Fastest knockout in 3.2 seconds. Fastest punch with a knockout, 0.12 seconds.
Yeah, so the Truth Fist
Fastest
guy had at
kick
least a couple
with a
things right.
knockout. Fastest kick, 72 miles per hour. Are they shooting a speed gun at the guy's foot?
So it's suggested by
I don't know
Dukes.
how that's measured. How is the speed of your kick measured?
So even though the technology probably wasn't there in 1975, Dukes claimed that there were 16 high-speed cameras recording the entire thing for statistics of the fight. And he later recanted that because people were asked about remember, kids. Oh my God, Lemon's shushed in the presence.
No, read it. This
Oh
is
my God.
important.
Remember, kids, practice autoerotic asphyxiation only in oh, why did it shuffle down like that? That's weird. Only practice auto asphyxiation in the presence of a loved one or friend. This message
Thank
brought
you.
to you by the people for awareness to the dangers of autoerotic asphyxiation. Thanks, Lemons.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Good.
But
I'm glad that I think it's important that we say that.
it is very important. If you are someone that you know and love autoerotic asphyxiates themselves, just like when you're lifting weights at the gym, just go, hey bud, you need a spot. It's important. Good message. I really appreciate
it. Have a partner. Have a buddy. Have a buddy.
Buddy system always works. But so yeah, Duke said that there was like 16 high-speed cameras, but he claims that he did have footage from the Kumite that he had fought in. But he would later recant and say that it was lost in an earthquake in 1993.
Wow, an earthquake.
Yeah, there was an earthquake in 1993 apparently, and some looters came and robbed his house. And took his Kumite tape, I guess.
So this Kumite tape is out there somewhere, like the fucking holy grail of Bloodsport memorabilia. Convenient, an earthquake, yeah.
Like I feel like when I say Frank Dux names, I feel like I'm doing like just like me, Al Franken, and then just Al Franken will show up on the bottom. But yeah, Frank Dux.
Mm-hmm.
Born April 6, 1956 in Toronto, Canada. So this, right, what we're going to be discussing now is going to be what has been the more or less proven record of what Dukes' life was really like. Including a lot of some very unsavory things, which we will get to, but we'll start with the early life first. So Dukes claimed that he was in a very low income family, and he had a real interest in martial arts, especially after seeing the film "You Only Die Twice" or "You Only Live Twice." James Bond.
What's that James guy?
Bill Bond.
Bill Bond.
Who is an old news anchor from where I live. I don't know why I went for Bill Bonds.
In the dimension that we're in, the famous 009 spy Bill Bond goes around with his license to kill.
But he was a very big fan of all the earlier 007 movies, and he really liked seeing the hand-to-hand combat stuff. And so in the San Fernando Valley at that time in the 1970s and 60s, it was a big upswing in martial arts studios opening up in the San Fernando Valley, much like in the Karate Kid. That's all set in that area. And apparently it's a very true statement that it is a very deeply entrenched in martial arts, from various nations. There's a martial arts studio, you can throw a stone and you can hit it. But Dukes, because of his family's very low income, he would resort to going outside of these martial arts studios, and he would watch the classes through the window, and he would practice with the class in the street or on the sidewalk outside of the class. So the one thing that we are figuring out because of because again, he just kind of incriminates himself with his own contradictions, but it's more than likely that the man was self-taught throughout most of his life, throughout most of his career, and then eventually, he would also sit outside the window of this man here. This is Bill Ryuzaki, who is a real, legit, like hardcore martial artist known for creating a particular fighting form, which I completely forgot to write down, but I assure you, it's a real thing. But Bill would apparently leave the blinds open for Dukes so that Dukes could join in the class, and but despite that, Bill despite Bill corroborating what Dukes was saying, Bill was more or less he seemed more like, when he was explaining it, that he was more annoyed that Dukes was like out there, and he's like, yeah, the kid couldn't pay for the classes, so it's like, okay, whatever, he's not harming anybody, I guess.
Sort of already slightly different versions of the story,
including Dukes said in a television interview at one point that Miyazaki was like a father figure to him, and that Dukes had presented him an award because he meant so much to Miyazaki, and Miyazaki meant so much to him. The reality was that there was no prestigious award ever given to Bill Miyazaki, and Frank Dux, was making up crap.
Since we're
allegedly.
Since we're talking about karate class, can we talk about the Karate Kid for a second?
Yeah.
I'm being told that they ass pulled a reboot of the Karate Kid, but that they only made 2 good seasons.
Oh yeah, Cobra Kai.
Is that what the show's called?
Yeah, Cobra Kai. It has
There are 4 bad seasons.
They did.
Is the rumor? That's what I'm being told.
They initially
2
had
good, 4 bad. There are 6 seasons of this thing.
Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of karate movies.
It was a big deal. It started on
YouTube. Is Bloodsport a karate movie? Oh, was it YouTube Red?
I think so. It was.
What do you think? What Beefy Deluxe? What do you think? Or I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you could be concise about what you think happened that they shat on the show after the 2nd season, but it was the OG YouTube Red show. Sorry, Thrash.
No, it's okay. No, that's what I was gonna say. It went from YouTube to it eventually got picked up by Netflix.
Right, and what was that after season 2? Did it go to Netflix and turn into shit?
Well, apparently.
Okay.
But, and I saw a few episodes. It was okay, and it starred the kid who was told to sweep the legs.
Yeah. He was in Netflix. He was in How I Married Your Mother.
Because of Barney Stinson. That's right. That is absolutely right.
He was like a main character, like the actor playing himself in the last season of that show. And then that might have been why someone was like, let's give this guy an OG YouTube Red show.
I mean, why the
they
heck
crippled the main kid. Oh. Maybe I should watch that show. I don't know. It seemed like something to me that kind of I felt like I saw ads for it, and then it like disappeared, and I never heard anyone.
It was okay. It was okay. I enjoyed it. But
I did like the Karate Kid. I liked those 3 movies very much when I was a child. I took karate classes. Oh my god!
I took Taekwondo.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, I didn't take Taekwondo. I took Sudo. No, I know. No. I heard you. I started saying, yeah, me too.
Oh,
but
I see. I didn't hear that.
This is brown file. This is my entire business. This is my whole company in this fucking thing. I have no idea why what I'm about to show you is in my most precious, important files.
Please tell me you got a picture of yourself in a gi. That'd be
Nope.
awesome.
Nope. Can you see that?
It's kind of fading out, but
Yes, the green screening.
the green screen is green screen. If you
Oh
bend
my
it a
god,
little bit, you can see it.
it's like a logo
Tang
appearing.
Sudo?
Yeah,
Tang Sudo.
I don't know what tag sudo is. That's what my mom. I wanted to take karate, and this is what my mom brought me to. Let me turn off the fucking thing.
We Hey, Mom, I want to take karate classes. Well, we have karate at home, and then
Yeah, so Tang Sudo, World Tang Sudo Association.
that's cool though. I think
What does this say? This is to certify that the above named person was granted the GUP degree of 8th Orange.
Nice.
I think it maybe went white, green, orange. I think this was the third. And I think it might have had a white do you get a stripe on it?
I believe it's called a Buddha, if I'm
The
not
stripe?
mistaken. Yeah, the stripey thing. Well, at least in
Do you
Taekwondo,
start with one or?
I think it's
Okay.
I think those are both Korean martial arts. I mean, at least
For some reason, I feel like 8th Orange. Well, yeah. I honestly, I have no idea. I feel like my belt may have had a stripe on it.
I'm.
So here's my certificate. I was a karate kid.
So, you know what? Now I gotta do something. Hold on.
You gotta.
Oh my God.
Seriously, there is nothing from my childhood in that file. I think my birth certificate is in here. I hope it is.
Okay, one second.
Okay. But I definitely have 8th degree orange belt. I saw this today and I was like, why is this fucking in here?
And again, it's not to one up. It was just something that I
No. Show me. I wish I had a belt or some actual thing.
So I used to do sparring in Taekwondo. I ended up getting like first place in the
That wasn't even
juniors.
no birth certificate. Great.
Yeah, this thing was fun. What was it? 24 Taekwondo, Doji Do, Kwan Championship, tiny green, yellow, and white sparring. I think I was a yellow belt at the time.
And was there yellow? Maybe it was white, yellow, orange.
It's something like that. It's something.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But yeah, I did
awesome.
Taekwondo for a long while, and that was fun.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a fucking trophy for it.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I feel like I got. I think I have a feeling that like I got tossed into a very weird predicament because I thought that because again I loved Bloodsport, but I didn't realize that you have like protective gear when you do general sparring. So I went to the tournament. I signed up for the sparring contest, and they're like, well, you don't have any gear. I'm like, oh, can I still go? And they go, I guess.
Yeah, go get your ass kicked, kid.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it sounded like to me. It was just like, okay, I guess I'll do this, and these they say tiny, but they were all a little bit bigger than I was. I was a very short, stocky kid, but apparently I managed to squeak wins away from this.
All right, congratulations.
Oh man, it was funny, but anyway, and enough of that. That was like when I was like 8 years old or some shit. I haven't done anything since. So yeah, so Frank Dux himself was a very big James Bond fan, and when we talk about the film You Only Live Twice, there's actually a character in the film named Senzo Tiger, or actually his name is Tiger Tanaka.
Okay.
And I believe I believe his first name was Senzo, but I haven't been able to corroborate that. I haven't actually seen the film, but from multiple sources that I read, the guy's name is Senzo. So this dude's name is Senzo Tiger Tanaka. And what's funny is that a lot of people went up to Dukes like, because again, as the Truth Fist guy explained, Senzo Tanaka is a mystery. Nobody knows if he actually existed or if he's just a really good ninja, right? So yeah, Tanaka's existence has been kind of in this weird gray area that nobody's certain if he actually existed. And Dux, like, up and down claims that he's real, and actually claimed that Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond, actually knew of Senzo Tiger Tanaka because of Tanaka's stint in the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II, and that Ian Fleming just knew who this famous ninjutsu guy was, and put him into his story.
Okay.
Which is, again, debatable.
A lot of based on a true story stuff going on.
A
with
lot
Frank
of based on a true story stuff is happening in this shit, and it's
Okay.
really interesting. And
This guy's very interested in things based on true stories that aren't true.
Indeed, and including like another funny thing is that once again, Frank Dux contradicts himself. He in another account, and mind you, this is reported by a website known as lowkickmma.com. Dux had apparently said at one point that his father, in fact, during his fighting in the Pacific Theater, had ended up meeting Senzo Tanaka in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And thus the story keeps changing so many times, and more or less, like, Dux really likes giving like 1/10 of the truth and this kind of fabricating the rest of it up around it. But no matter the story, though, like the real Senzo Tanaka, this guy, was always kind of portrayed as this sort of like mythical Asian man that taught the white kid about the the mythical ninjas and stuff like that. So it's all nonsensical. The real Senzo Tanaka here, who was actually only found recently, shout out to Viking Samurai and his YouTube channel for doing the actual legwork of getting that stuff figured out. He ended up having somebody come on who ended up getting the actual records of this guy, and this guy apparently lived same area as Frank Dux. It was kind of had a lot of the same birthmarks that Dux would describe, and also so it's likely that this dude actually existed. But the weird thing is that, like, despite that, Dux said that he was trained in this art of Koga Yamabushi is the name of the art form. He was apparently taught Koga Yamabushi by this guy. But the reality is that Senzo Tanaka did not have or at least from what has been uncovered about the real guy, he has no actual martial arts experience or background, as far as I understand, let alone having any sort of connection to a very weird organization.
A guy with the same name as the guy in the movie.
It's just the guy has the same name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But again, he was taught in the art of Koga Yamabushi, and the funny thing is that Koga Yamabushi is actually a form of meditation, not an actual martial art. So it's just like saying, like, go to a fighting tournament. What style do you fight? Oh, I fight in yoga style.
Sure. That's what Dolls does.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. But to an extent. But again, like, you're not exactly taught how to fight in with this particular fighting style.
Sure.
But so we're also going to start with the first tournament that Frank Dux ever participated in. It was told by Dux that famed martial artist, pictured here, Vic Moore. At the age of 23, this man was 23 years old. Dux went and fought him at 13 years old. And during the fight, and mind you, this man is like, cream of the crop. He's like he's pretty damn good. And 13-year-old Frank Dux takes on this guy, and apparently the match ends in a draw. And
that's again, according to Dux.
According to Dux, although Moore has conflictingly told at different points that the Duke story was true, and then later
Really?
on would recant the story, and it's mostly due to the
Okay.
fact that that because Dukes had such a high influence in Hollywood as being like this martial artist, choreographer, and guru, and that more probably needed the scratch, and so
Okay.
in the
Okay.
little bit of the nudge networking, and
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
like all right, I'll spread your bullshit as long as you get me a couple gigs, which is
Yep.
likely what happened, but again, that's alleged. We have no clue. Just like everything in this story is alleged. There are some true
This is
facts
all
to this,
fiction.
but everything is fucking fiction.
The true fact is that a movie got made called Bloodsport.
Truth. But it's after this fight with Vic Moore. Excuse me. Pardon me. So after this fight, he ends up joining this very exclusive martial arts society known as the Black Dragon Fighting Society, which initially was disbanded in 1946 by the U.S. occupational forces during World War II in Japan, as this group was more of a right-wing imperialist propagandist group for the Japanese government. They were basically like the Tea Partiers of Japan, if you will.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
I will.
But there was a Midwest revitalization of this group, started by the man in the top left corner, whose name is Count Raphael Dante. I forgot what his real name was, but it's probably even goofier than that. So Raphael Dante, who is like one of the he's like the epitome of the martial arts snake oil salesman. He's like the OG. He was known for doing these comic book ads,
Right.
And he would say, like, I will
this
sell
thing on the screen has been parodied 1,000 times.
Oh yes, oh yes, and he of course was saying that he, taught something known as the dim mak, the death touch.
Yep.
And you would pay $4.99 to become a member of the Black Dragon Fighting Society, and then you would get like a little booklet pamphlet of like a step by step of how to do the dim mak. And again, this dude is super fucking fascinating, and we're gonna cover him in another video. But like, we'll just skip ahead to when this goofball dies. So when that goofball dies, Dante dies in 1975. After his death, Dukes claimed that at one point that the reason why he got an invitation to the Kumite was because of Count Dante dying, and Dukes was to replace him because apparently Dukes had a real deep connection with that crew, and Dante saw a lot of good things in him, and so he ends up replacing Dante in the Kumite to honor him, and thus kind of bringing in the little missing link of how Dukes would get a invite to a very secretive, underground criminal ring organized, fighting match. But and the other funny thing that also kind of goes along with Dukes' story that kind of backs it up just a touch is the fact that Dante, who was mostly based in Chicago, would he had a lot of real deep connections to some really unsavory criminal organizations, according to some sources. So there's the possibility of like, this guy has the connection to this deep seedy underground. He's going to have the means to get an invite to this event. So, but again, everything's alleged. Everything's on shaky ground. It's almost about as bad as a fishtail. But so
what about a fishtail?
It's almost like a fish story, like
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
Am I saying that turn of phrase right?
Oh,
what's it usually?
I'm not really positive, but for somehow I was picturing the tail a part of a fish.
Oh,
I was like, what is that? Some kind of metaphor, like a red herring? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But a fishtail, yeah, like a big fishtail. I think just you're telling fishtails. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't process it correctly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was on me for sure.
If
Yeah,
anything, if anything, I've been known to
you know to
jumble
drop
shit.
a fishtail. Oh
I've been
yeah,
known to drop
yeah.
a fishtail or two.
I've been known to do all those things.
So it has also been suggested by Dukes that his entry into the Kumite was actually during his after his joining of the U.S. Army at the age of 19, or the U.S. Marine Corps at the age of 19. And it was within the year and a half that he was in the Marines that the CIA approached him and was like, you know what? We're going to put you on special ops in Southeast Asia. You know, get at it, son. You're doing good.
Okay.
So in an interview that Frank Dux did with, and again, I like another big shout out to Viking Samurai for doing a lot of the legwork on uh, bringing out the Frank Dux story and kind of doing a nice neutral discussion about it. In an interview with Viking Samurai, Dux had stated that the Kumite was actually a super low key, and that there would actually be no footage of the event anyway. Despite saying that once again there were 16 high-speed cameras to determine the fighter statistics.
Yeah.
Dux also said that his entry into Kumite, and another statement said that his entrance in the Kumite was because he was infiltrating criminal organizations for the CIA overseas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So another really fun thing that Frank Dux has kind of introduced is something known as Kumite math. So somebody actually, took Frank Dux' statement of like how many fights that he had to do. It was 20 guys a day for 3 days per fighter. And
Is that what it is in the movie?
That's what it was supposed to be in the movie too. Yes, it was supposed to be the same sort
20 dudes a day.
Mm-hmm. And the 8 best
too
fighters,
many guys.
I know. That's what she said. Anyway,
yeah.
Boo.
That's what Group X said. You know who Group X is?
No.
Oh, you'd remember them.
No clue.
You would. They did a thing about the world going away.
Group X.
So here's the Earth that is chilling. That is a nice Earth, you might say. Wrong.
Oh yeah. The Oh god, what was it?
Thursday missiles, but I am late, tired. Well, then take a nap, and then Thursday missiles.
Yes, I remember that now. Yes. I remember that. That was fucking hilarious. I missed that.
They do a song about too many guys. Maybe we'll listen to some of their probably very inappropriate old school raps from 2001 or something.
Those were the days.
The old internet before Web 2.0 destroyed everything. Boys, by the way, Charter Spectrum is real. I'm having a real Spectrum-y day. Charter Spectrum blows.
Indeed.
Charter Spectrum blows goats.
But Kumite math. So
yeah, tell me about the Kumite math.
So the
20 dudes a day.
20 dudes a day for 3 days. And out of that, the 8 best out of the group who survived the endurance challenge of fighting all these people for 3 days fight in a bracket style tournament. And of course, these all the 2 people, and whoever wins that wins Kumite. I don't know who originally did this. I tried looking up who did, but I ended up finding like a couple of random AIs that somebody had set up, and they had set up the AI to do the math on how many participants would be needed to do all of the matches.
Everybody could fight 20 dudes.
Yes, and it was calculated that in order to back up Dukes' claims, there would have to be 72 quintillion 57 trillion 594 it's 72 trillion 57 billion 594 million 37,927 people.
How many people is that more or less people than were alive on the planet at the time?
They are way That's like 3 to 4 times as much.
As people who are alive now?
Yes.
And at the time, there were way less people alive.
Yes.
Okay.
So again, his math doesn't add up, and somebody had to actually set up an AI to figure this out.
Do this math.
And it's now known as Kumite math. And I've never heard of that phrase before, but I think that's just so flippin'
There you
funny.
go. Yeah. Okay.
I love it. But so according to the Dukes, the event didn't, and also like I mentioned earlier, the event didn't happen in Hong Kong, but rather an island in the Bahamas, and changes location every event. Despite the event being secretive, Dukes has claimed that he was able to be open about the Kumite due to the fact that the event organizers asked him personally to be a spokesperson for North American fighters to attract more North American fighters. He doesn't explain why a secret agent asset to the U.S. government would come out and say that he's a spy for the U.S. government, but we're just going to, like everything else, gloss over that.
Is there a thing about fighting 100 dudes in a row?
I don't know.
Or is that a different thing? Or is that I don't know. I'm being asked about 100 dudes in a row.
He fought 329 matches. Was what?
Oh, okay.
But it would technically, again, it would be like 60 fights per person. But again, it was apparently like a round robin sort of fight. I don't know how you would make that happen though. But it doesn't matter. It just sounds like all nonsense. And the fact that's the fact
there's a lot of numbers getting thrown around. Yeah,
there's a lot of unnecessary numbers getting thrown around, and again, it amounts to what? Again, going back to Viking Samurai, he did like an entire series on Frank Dux. He talked to like former Black Ops specialists. He also talked to this dude in particular, a dude named Sky Benson, who was a former student and a teacher at one of Dux' schools. He stated himself that he was privy to watching the Kumite tapes, which apparently all of the black belt students that Dux had were privy to the Kumite tapes. And according to this guy, Sky Benson, he said that it looked more like street brawls, and like that there was only like maybe 5-6 people around, rather than the, the big arena that was portrayed in the movie like this. And as stated earlier, when Dux was asked about where those tapes were, he said that they were stolen in 1993 after an earthquake.
Right. Yep.
Which is really silly. And the other funny thing is that you remember that guy Ray Jackson, Ogre, the guy that played Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds. So that man, Ray Jackson, was apparently based off of a real martial artist, a person named Richard Robinson. Do I have his picture? Oh, there's a picture from the Kumite fights that apparently he fought in. Shout out to SamuraiLife.net for having those videos, because he would try to say that he was the fighter in these videos, but again, you can hardly make out the faces. It's very low resolution. There's no real backing that up. But this is Richard Robinson, who after a severe grilling from reporters about his origins as well as Frank Dux' origins, he came clean and basically said that he did not, much like the story, he met Frank Dux at the Kumite in the Bahamas. Richard Robinson actually was like an old high school friend of Frank Dux, and was more than likely coached by Dux on what to say. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly. Yeah. In the 1980s, and fast forwarding to the 1980s, we've got this lovely spread put in an old magazine known as Black Belt Magazine. The interview was done by then editor Jon Stewart, who interviewed Dux, and he basically Dux covered his entire military career, as well as covered his entire martial arts career, including the Kumite stuff. And this was so fascinating to this Jon Stewart guy. And despite the fact that there was like a foreword to the article saying that, we were unable to corroborate any of the stuff that he was saying,
yeah, we don't know if
they still put it out there. And what's even funnier and kind of more damning is this particular letter that Jon Stewart wrote to a publishing house who was saying that Dukes' claims were false. So Jon Stewart wrote a letter basically saying that Dukes was an exemplary martial artist, stating, and I quote, there, and mind you, it's the 80s. This person is obviously really ignorant and very gullible. So excuse the use of this terminology, but this is the actual quote because I think this is ridiculous that this man even said this. So Jon Stewart said, and I quote, "There are only two genuine non-Oriental ninja known to the world today. One of them lives in Japan. The
Oh,
other is Frank Dux."
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Only American Ninja. Frank Dukes. What a guy.
I know, right? Although,
Sounds like an impressive guy to me.
and although that's that's a shining recommendation, but Stewart would later retract his statements and basically claim that he was yet another person that fell under the spell of Frank Dukes.
All right.
He ate the hook, line, and the sinker. And now we're gonna get into some real heavy shit, and probably the more damning things, like all the fake karate crap I can deal with. But as a person from from a military family and friends who have served and died, like this shit really pisses me off. Are you familiar with the term stolen valor?
Yeah, totally.
So in his book, Dukes claimed that he received a plethora of awards from his service in Vietnam, or quote, or apostrophe Nam, including a Purple Heart and a Medal of Honor, which, according to Dukes, was given to him in a secret ceremony due to the classified nature of the mission he accomplished
A
to
secret,
obtain the award.
of course. Of course, it was a big secret, yeah.
Mind you, Dukes joined the military in 1975. Vietnam ended
That was sometime after the Vietnam War.
Vietnam ended in 1973.
Okay.
When he was asked about this discrepancy, Dukes claimed that he was actually in Southeast Asia, and that when he says that I got a buddy from Nam, I just meant Vietnam, not the Vietnam conflict.
Yep, that's a classic.
And also denies that he was doing covert ops during the Vietnam War, but was doing some like after stuff against the communists or whatever. I don't fucking know. But again, this was all later proven to be false through a FOIA request, but we'll get to that in a second. I want to talk about this picture though first, because you can see he's got all those awards on his chest.
Yep.
And he's looking dapper.
Yep.
So there was a book back in there is the report right there. So in that photo, I actually meant to move that photo to a different spot, but that's okay. We'll go on to his record. His record is right here. The reality is that this man never served overseas, and that he was also a wireman. He wasn't actually
a wireman.
Yeah, he wasn't actually an active duty soldier.
Yeah.
And what's even funnier is the fact that despite Dukes claiming that he served his time, he was actually booted after he had severely injured himself falling off of a paint truck. Or excuse me, he fell off while he was painting a truck.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that some shit? So in the 2000s, there was a book called Stolen Valor, written by a gentleman named B.G. Burkett, and he basically exposed a very, very deep list of military fakes and frauds. And Dukes was a decent section of that book with all the claims that he made. Where'd it go? Yeah, okay. I lost my spot because my slides got mixed up now.
Okay.
But so in the book Stolen Valor, they talked about this particular photo, and what's really fucked up is the fact that after he got called out, Dukes was like, "Nah, that's not my real uniform. That's a Halloween costume
It
that I
looks like it
wore."
is. I mean, yeah.
Fucking joke. But and through multiple FOIA requests and everything else, it's just been flat proven that the man, again, had lied on multiple occasions about his actual service, let alone he received no medals for anything that he did. And all the covert ops stuff that he claimed that he was part of, the reality was he the reality was he didn't do any of it, and that he received no accommodations or not accommodation. He received no awards or anything, and that in fact when he was dismissed, he ended up having something written to his log saying that he was like delusional or something similar.
Oh,
like, yeah, and that he was
as a young
very
man.
flighty as a young man. Yes,
Man.
but it was after his service.
A history of delusion.
Frank Dux, A History of Delusion. Lose Your Delusion, Part 7.
Yes.
So after his service, Dukes he went back to LA and started serving as a consultant, like a military consultant and martial arts choreographer for films. This film in particular was one of the first that he was ever in. This was a film known as Firefight. It was a short, like 20-minute movie about some guys in Vietnam. It was made by a guy named Sheldon Lettich. And Dukes became close friends on the set of making that movie in 1983. And on set, Dukes would just continually tell the stories of like what he did during his time in the Kumite and when he was serving in Nam and shit like that. And mind you, not the country. He was hanging out in the country. He wasn't in the conflict.
Right. Yep.
He told the story of the Kumite, and Lettich finds this so fascinating that he decides that he wants to write a screenplay about it, and asks Dukes to hop along for the ride, and it ends up being one of the movies that we all know and love, Bloodsport. So Sheldon Lettich was like one of the few people that after the movie had came out with the true claims, he was one of the few people that said that Dukes was being honest, that this was a real guy doing some superhuman shit. Only to, like, Jon Stewart later retracted, saying that, Dukes coached him in what to say about the retelling of the events. And again, it took him a real long time to, like, I think it was after the Stolen Valor book came out that Lettich realized that Dukes was like playing him. Because again, those records that we have, those are for people who do not know what a FOIA request is. It's a Freedom of Information Act request, which means that any public information that the U.S. government has that you can obtain, the U.S. government has to divulge. They have to give it to you through this particular request.
Yeah. Do you think that like they made this movie and he was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to keep telling this set of lies forever now"?
Like for real.
It sounds like he was telling someone this story, and the guy was like, "Cool, let's make a movie," and he was like, "Great," and then he was like, "Oh shit. I gotta carry around my big balls for the rest of my life now."
Excuse me while I twirl these plates for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Fucking
crazy.
Shit.
I can't believe I didn't know any of this about Bloodsport, and I never even saw. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Isn't this shit?
Wow.
And what's even crazier is that like Dukes and Van Damme were actually pretty tight for a really, really long time.
Interesting.
Even to the point that at one point, Dukes was dating Van Damme's sister-in-law.
Is that Van Damme's sister-in-law right there, or that's Dukes? Which one is the sister-in-law?
Neither one of them.
Is that Dukes and Van Damme?
That's Van Damme and Dukes. Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing him with a little beard.
He brings he had the beard throughout the 80s and then he got rid of it. It was here and there. But later in 1988, Van Damme sued Dukes because Van Damme apparently offered him some gigs.
Damn.
I know, right?
Van Damme.
Indeed. But apparently, Dukes was promised a whole handful of movie gigs to do choreography and consulting for,
Sure.
especially a handful of Van Damme's films that, again, a fight coordinator would probably be nice to have. But Van Damme didn't have him on any of the films, and the final bit that really broke the camel's back was a movie called The Quest, and it's basically almost a very similar retelling um of Bloodsport, but it was like set in kind of a mythical realm sort of thing. Uh, Spaps85. Why am I not surprised Seagal was involved with Dukes? Oh no, that comes later, and that's another really funny tale that I will talk about, because there's some weird shit that happens. Well, you know what? I'll just tell you now, because
Okay.
so Frank Dukes again has been known to like say some really ridiculous things. One of those things was the fact that Seagal had that Dukes himself was given a hit to put on Seagal.
What?
He was offered $25,000. According to Dukes himself, he was offered $25,000
According to Dukes.
to kill.
According to Dukes.
According to Dukes, allegedly.
Yeah.
Man, I love how we have to cover our asses here. But allegedly, he was offered $25,000 to kill Steven Seagal, and he refused. So Spaps85, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate your coming in to join us. First time chatter, very very welcome. And thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, Seagal is another one of those alleged martial arts snakes oil salesman. But yeah, so during this particular court case, Van Damme like absolutely annihilates Dukes, and he basically calls him out on all of his lies, and there was a lot of chicanery with the actual judgment, according to some court experts. But the reality is that the guy he didn't have anything to stand on, let alone he had no truth to any of the claims that he was making. So yeah, Dukes ended up in some shit in 1998. But we're gonna backtrack to another very interesting time, to when this was like one of the last real big things that Frank Dukes actually ever participated in. This was a 1993 demo that he did in France, and he showcased his martial arts talents by spin kicking bottles and doing the dim mak on a bottle of whiskey. And
looks like Steven Seagal here.
And he also allegedly punched through a bulletproof glass pane. Do I have that picture? No, I don't. But yeah, I saw the video, and a lot of it looks like sugar glass. I'm not gonna lie. It looks severely questionable, and it seems like a lot of Hollywood hooey. It's
yeah.
Although I'll give it to him.
No one said it was fist proof, just bulletproof.
Exactly. But yeah, Dukes has had a very interesting career. He also was apparently thanked in a edition of the Navy SEALs Close Quarter Combat Handbook, because apparently he did a couple demos for the Navy SEALs, and they were thoroughly impressed. But again, I looked through the thank you that was given on the CQC handbook, and I think I'm uncertain of what exactly he was thanked for. If it was just I don't know if they just have random military vets come in and just be like hey I'm gonna teach you how to do the dim mak, but who knows. But that is
sounds unlikely.
It is very unlikely. But but again, because of his reputation, I'm sure with the martial arts community before the internet happened about, I'm sure that the U.S. military didn't think twice about having this man who did some deep covert ops for them train their SEALs, which is ridiculous. And that statement is particularly hard to swallow, especially considering after that, little event in 1993, Dukes was found to have had multiple huge brain tumors in his head, and one of them
Okay.
ended up causing him to have a stroke, blinding him in his left eye and paralyzing the left side of his face permanently.
That's too bad.
Yeah, he later appeared in interviews like with the eye patch, and there was one time he was on some tabloid talk show. I completely forget which one, but he showed up on the show with two Bond girls on each arm wearing a suit, and he's got the eye patch and everything. And the even sadder portion of that segment was while he was sitting there, these women served him shaken martinis.
Wow.
I know. What
Wow. You know what? I mean, he sounds like a cool guy.
And what's funnier was there was an audience member who like called him out on his bullshit, and she was like, so you're like a spy, right? Like, why are you on television right now saying that you are a spy? Isn't that kind of contradictory to like what you're supposed to be doing? And he just kind of shrugged it off and made up another story about how he was exiled from the CIA after some bullshit, and he eventually became so distrusting of the U.S. government that he left it all and became a whistleblower.
Yeah, those are some balls. Speaking of Beau is Afraid.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, again, once the internet happened, all of these fabrications turned out to be false, much like our story about Steven Seagal and being given $25,000 to assassinate him, which is beyond hilarious to me. He also made a lot of really other ridiculous claims, including that at one time he was part of an organization that was trying to get children off of being trafficked or something crazy like that in
Okay.
somewhere near Africa, if I remember correctly from the article, but I didn't write that down where. But he was somewhere like fighting these pirates. Like you have your Somali pirate types and so forth. It was
Yeah.
very much the
Yeah.
same thing. Very
Pirates.
much the same thing. So
Okay.
I don't know. When you say pirates to people in the contemporary, a lot of people think it's the Hook and Arg and shit
Johnny
like that.
Depp.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's Jack Sparrow, but no.
Yeah.
No, these are people that actually plunder ships and kill people. Apparently, Dukes himself claimed that he traded his very own Kumite sword to save the life of an enslaved child from pirates.
Well, that's nice of him.
Yeah,
But then that's where the sword went.
Yeah, that's exactly where this. He still
This guy Frank. I don't know. This guy Frank Dux sounds like a hell of a guy. He did a lot of things. They made a movie about him. He traded his sword for a child.
He pretended to be a military vet with high commendations and shit like that. Yeah, he's totally a very good guy. Another funny
if you believe the slanderous book written about him.
Well, here's the thing: is that he actually had written a book called.
Yeah, it all got stolen or traded. Is that him?
That is him and his gi.
Is this before or after the eye patch?
This is after the eye patch.
Oh, so it came off eventually.
No, he still kind of talks like from one. He still kind
of.
Oh,
he does. Okay.
But I don't know about the blinding stuff. He
doesn't always wear the eye patch.
He wears sunglasses in interviews, so I don't necessarily know. Okay. I never asked the guy.
Traded to pirates.
Right. He also claimed that
traded it to a pirate. Sorry.
No, it's funny. It's funny. It's very interesting. It is very interesting. Again, I ask everybody with an open mind to really consider the reality of these facts. But yeah, he also claimed that the infamous advisor of the Tsar, Rasputin, had foretold of the
Oh,
coming of Senzo
Jesus
Tanaka.
Christ. Oh, okay.
Well, that's even
Not Frank
weirder,
Dux.
right? No, but that'd be even funnier if he did.
Uh,
it would be the epitome of like narcissism if he put himself in that, but no, he was saying that Senzo Tanaka was foretold by Rasputin.
and I'm not super concerned about my back. That was a Discord background that I had on because it was funny before.
Oh yeah, it was fun, and that's really cool. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that shit.
Yeah, it's in voice and video settings.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
But it's the same, you know how it automatically, because you have a thing on your PlayStation 4 that automatically removes your background, right?
Yeah.
Like
that's just the camera. Yeah, the camera itself just removes removes the background, and you have to adjust it to get like the proper depth and how much of the actual wall behind you want, how tightly cut you want it done. But there's also a means to do like green screen too, but I don't have that.
Yeah. So the Discord thing, what I'm saying is you don't really need a green screen to do the Discord thing. Like it's the same kind of, it's the same as the PS4, that it just wherever you're sitting. Well, that's why I disappeared so much.
Dude, that when you
when I hold up the paper, because it's looking for a human face, It's the automatic background removal thing is what Discord does. So it's not a chroma key. So it's easy. So it would be easy for you. You'd be able to use it without a screen behind you.
Now they're infiltrating our cameras. They're everywhere.
Well, I mean, they've always been.
They've always been, yeah. So it goes. But anyways, Frank Dux wrote a book called The Secret Man.
Yeah?
I believe it's in '96.
Okay, The Secret Man.
The Secret Man.
Secret Agent Man.
I was gonna say, I don't get what he called it, The Secret Man, when everything's not so secret anymore. It should be the upfront and honest man or something like that instead.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's an ironic title.
What's really funny is this has a 4.3 rating with 58 reviews on Amazon. Oh,
he lost when he tried to sue Van Damme, right?
He lost when he sued Van Damme. I thought I mentioned that. Yeah, no, yeah, he definitely.
I'm making sure because I didn't.
Oh no, I
didn't commit it to memory.
Knowing me, I probably would have forgotten to actually.
No, I didn't know if no worries.
Oh my God, this review: Frank Dux, a real-life master of martial arts and super secret agent. How secret of an agent is he anymore?
It's not. Yeah.
And what's even funnier
is a secret once you're writing a book about it.
And what's even funnier is
on TV, and they made a movie about your life, your imaginary life.
What a goofus! But what's even funnier is that along with the Frank Dux book, it also suggests the book Stolen Valor right next to it.
That's great. That's good, Amazon. Good job. Yep.
Way to go, Amazon. Thank you for the suggestion. But oh, and I'm sorry, I meant to look up when this book was published. It's 316 pages, 1996. I was correct. So he wrote this book in 1996, and he also and this is the last slide of the evening, and probably one of my favorite slides ever. The man claimed that he also was a master of disguise.
Oh no!
And a big shout out to.
It's gonna be a shot at Dana Carvey in the turtle costume.
A big shout out to
yeah. Sorry, no.
But a big shout out to Napoleon Blown Apart on YouTube for being the person to suffer and read through the book and make a video about it. Your video was really helpful. God. And this was also taken from his video, but it was his video about the book. So in the book, there's there's a handful of pictures of him doing these, face changes, making him melt away into the background and so forth. And these are the 3 examples that he used to show that he could blend in to a crowd.
Blonde wig, sunglasses, mustache. Those are the 3 looks.
And he also looks like he shoved a couple of cotton
balls. One of them is making puffy cheeks, yeah.
I'm a completely different person.
He's doing it with hair for the photograph. There's no way in that photograph he's got cotton in his mouth.
Oh my goodness. That's too funny, man.
These are some good disguises.
These are amazing disguises, Frank, and you know, where would the CIA and our country be if you did not serve? Did not if it weren't for your service.
Which they have no record of.
Which they have the record of his service. It's just not
Oh,
the
it's
service
top
that
secret.
he's
It's just not
listed.
Yeah. It's just not the stuff he said he did. Yeah.
What a goofball.
Top secret award ceremony for his secret awards for the secret man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm gonna start telling everyone that all of my accomplishments are top secret. And that way I can make up whatever I want to fucking say.
I once fed the T-1000 guy egg white omelet. Make with that what you will. I made the man an omelet.
Patrick.
Oh,
Michael
God.
Patrick? I think he's a two first names guy. He was in Wayne's World.
Yes, he was. Have you seen this boy?
Playing the T-1000. Yeah.
You would think that they would actually. Oh, Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick. Yes, two first names guy.
Two first names guy. Apparently enjoyed a sausage and egg white omelet. Good on you, bud.
You made one for him?
Cholesterol. Well, when I worked at a really fancy hotel chain that I cannot list due to reasons. Mostly because of the fact that I tried starting a union in the group and
how'd that go?
Oh, I got snuffed out immediately.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and then they tried to blame bullshit on me. The front desk lady lost the key to the refrigerator, and then she tried to blame it on me. Oh, what a punk. Anyway, so yeah, I did end up making that guy an egg white omelet once.
That guy was one of our bad dads.
Oh God!
He was Peacekeeper's father.
Peacekeeper, not Homelander.
Homelander's father. Same guy. Yeah. Peacekeeper. Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Is that what it is? Peacemaker sounds wrong.
Why did I say peacekeeper?
I said it first. I think Peacemaker is what he is.
Peacemaker is correct. Is the correct for the John Cena. We are just gaff after gaff tonight.
Yeah, it's really okay. Yeah,
that's the beauty of these little stoner shows. Is it's gaff after gaff. I
gotta.
But yeah, that's the story of Frank Dux.
I gotta go to the bathroom and smoke a pipe and then eat a bowl of chili.
Indeed. But yeah, that's the story.
What I gotta do.
That's probably what I'm gonna do shortly after this. But yeah,
is he living? Is he alive?
Frank Dux
does he remain with us?
He remains with us, and actually did an interview with that Viking samurai guy like sometime last year.
Oh, he did an interview with the guy?
He did an interview with some YouTube guy. Yeah.
Wow.
And
all right, Viking samurai.
And again, big thumbs up for putting in the effort to do that, let alone having he actually has a very neutral stance on the whole thing when he does the interview. He's
I mean, that's good. That's how you should approach it.
Yes,
even if you think they're a stolen valor piece of shit. You gotta let them. You gotta
don't go. Let them have their say.
Don't go in there being like, "Gotcha, motherfucker. How about you respond to this thing you don't want to talk about?"
Right.
Because then how is it gonna then? The interviews
how are you going to actually get the real information out of the guy?
How are you going to get anything out of the guy if you're going to act like
in those interviews, there were so many contradictions from what he's originally stated.
And you can't just start bringing it up and being like, well, can you explain all of this bullshit?
And then he blames the media for misrepresenting him. It's hilarious.
That's another classic. That's another easy way to go.
I think that's why that Truth Fist guy called it the glib lib media.
Oh, the glib lib media.
I think is what he said. Yeah.
I think next time we should ask that guy what his what his Christian name is. I think he needs a name. Truth Fist.
You think Truth Fist needs a real name? All right, breaking character here. I really think having it change every single time to something even more embarrassing every single moment is just kind of funny to me. That's why I really like doing that. I guess
bit on the bottom. Okay, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I guess, and this might just be, I don't know. Um, was his name Insecure? Like his first name was Insecure, his middle name was White, and his family name was Man. Like, is that what we're like? That was his name. His name is in.
That was the first one, and then I accidentally did another insecure bit with this
Well,
character.
because both, because sometimes on the news it'll be like, now we're going to talk to an insecure white man. But I'm confused, but this is his show. Like this is the insecure white man show. So like there's something that's not connecting, and it might just be, me being dumb.
He might just be self-aware.
Ketchup burrito? Yeah, maybe that's fine.
He's just reading.
He's very self-aware, and he's just like, this is me. I'm an insecure white man reporting from.
He's like Christopher Walken on SNL. He's just reading the cue cards.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm fine with it. I'm just I don't know if I was, because I feel like
that makes sense. No, that does make sense.
I would introduce the next guest and be like, but he's a nameless sausage man.
He's a nameless, very angry fellow who really enjoys Hawaiian shirts and Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you say about a character like that? As for his namesake, I don't know. We might have to. I think we might give him an actual.
Why I started saying this, why we went behind the scenes for a second, is because you referred to him as Truth Fist. Like we can just call him the character Truth Fist.
We can call the character Truth Fist, and then his actual name changes.
And his name is a mystery, and he's constantly an insecure. Maybe, I mean, just throwing it out there. His name who cares? If we decide to put it forth at some point that his name actually is, his first name is Insecure and his last name is Man, then that's fine with me too. We don't need to nail down the character and the lore, I don't think.
Right.
For old Truth Fist.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, gang. The chat was not scrolling down for me. I didn't realize that there had been people talking this entire time. I am so sorry, gang.
York, how long have you been on Twitch?
I know. Well, the thing is that the auto scroll paused automatically. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, sure. The website automatically did an auto pause.
I know, right? Both stories sound.
Good luck, Beefy. Sorry about your ketchup. I'm gonna smoke myself into a coma also.
But yeah, again, gang, I'm so sorry. Buff Squidward, thank you again for being November lasted a whole season indeed, and then there's the automatic.
Wow, it's been a minute.
I know. I've been missing some stuff. Kuya didn't turn the chroma key back on. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did mention that. Oh God, there's a rant from.
Oh no!
Also, Thrash in a stupid Twitter post today. Some dumb motherfucker is saying.
I know that it does.
That we need to ban GTA 6. What? It's trying to peddle sexualized content to children. Yeah.
That's why there's a rating system.
That is why we have the rating system.
Yeah, shut up, everybody.
It literally sounded like Seagal saw this guy from Spaps85. It's literally sounds like Seagal saw this guy's life and was like, I'll take that. Dude, wild shit. So again, Spaps85, Arrogant Lemons, Buff Squidward. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and all of the rest of y'all out there for joining us. Yeah, this has been a fun little topic. I again, maybe if you can find a copy of Bloodsport, we'll have to sit down and watch it sometime. It's actually.
All right, I guess I gotta watch. I guess that's the fucking punchline. Is I gotta watch goddamn Bloodsport.
You have to watch Bloodsport. It is vital. Yeah, it's been real, Spaps, and if you can, if you can, please throw a follow. It's always appreciated. It helps me out a lot. And if you can also, hold on, if I can still do this. what is it? It's a exclamation point SO and then at CuyaDK. There we go. That's how it works. Yep. Shout out to CuyaDK. Go follow CuyaDK on Twitch.
You don't need to follow me. I don't. No one watches me on Twitch.
Well, everybody should be watching you. You do the little
I do this.
miniature paintings. You do
Thanks, Peps. Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try to drop that stinky attitude. You guys can follow me. Do whatever you want. Thank you, anyone who does follow me. Thank you for being here, and thank you anyone that listened to me.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
on my side. What's up, Beefy, and everyone else? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everybody so much for tuning in, and we're gonna. I guess we'll raid out here. I wonder who we should. Are you gonna be on for a little bit longer, Kuya? Or
no.
I'll raid out to you. You're gonna. You're taking a leak and.
Don't raid out to me. I'm smoking and chillying. Yeah.
Smoking and chillying. Got it. All right. Well, let's see. Let's go say hi. You know what? We haven't seen Creator in a little bit. Possibly. Yeah, let's go say hi to him. We haven't seen him in a minute. We'll go watch him play some God, what is it? Spire. Not
the
destroy
Spire that not slaying.
Let's slay the Spire. Thank you.
Is that what it is?
I haven't played it in a minute because I don't have PS Plus anymore. It breaks my heart because I fucking love that game.
Oh.
I need to actually buy it. Which again, those likes and follows help me potentially get into a realm where I could potentially buy stuff. so yeah, again, shout outs to everybody. Thank y'all so much again for tuning in. Let's go raid out to Creator.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Take care, gang.
We'll be back in a week.
Oh, that's how you do that.
Hey, is it a slash command?
It's a weird slash command that I have no freaking clue how to do. Because I'm
I don't know how to do anything on Twitch anymore.
I'm inefficient. I don't read up on how to do things. But yeah, we'll get that raid started for Creator. All right, gang. Yeah, it's been a real blast. Thank you all. Tune in next week. We're not knowing what we're covering, but tune in. We'll see you then. Take care, gang.